Today on The Form, there is so much to talk about, including the big one, the Group 2 Waikato stud Foxbridge Plate out of Te Rapa, where we see first five come back to the track, along with Alabama Lass and last year's winner in Sterling Express. We'll also be taking a look at the bumper undercard out of Te Rapa. Then we turn our attention to Hawke's Bay, yes, back at Hastings for the two open features on their card and some nice rating 75s. And the Group 1 Winx Stakes, two very good mares going head to head. We'll be discussing who takes that out, and of course our best bets to round out the show. So let's get stuck into it. Welcome into The Form, and what an exciting weekend we have ahead with the Group 2 Waikato stud Foxbridge Plate and some really good races on the undercard there too, and Hastings. And to talk all about the action, of course, we've got our usual team in. Good morning to you, Aidan and Leith, and a fantastic field, Leith, this time.
Yeah, the Foxbridge Plate has probably come up a little bit stronger than last season, and look, one race I'm really looking forward to is the Group 1 race in Australia, Autumn Glow against She's Alibi. Looks like a bit of a match race to me.
Some sort of clash that, but yeah, isn't it great to see, you know, that real Group 1 quality return to this Foxbridge Plate? Undoubtedly better field than last year, and you've got horses who will be bona fide contenders in Group 1 races further down the track. So we can really get our teeth stuck into this first weight for Asia of the year, Pip.
We certainly can, and now it's our time to say good morning to you, Bevan. Sweeney, I know you'll be looking forward to Te Rapa, but also getting back to the Bay.
Yeah, it's a real signal of spring. Very good morning to you guys, team up there. Look, Bay being back in play, that means the spring is almost upon us, and we've got to get some racing in there before we get there for the second Group 1 of the season. Of course, we do race on the same day as the first Group 1 at Ellerslie, and yeah, just seeing I think the sprinter of last season stepping out, first five at Te Rapa and Alabama Lass, we know her ability. So, yeah, there's a tinge of spring around.
Well, there really is an exciting weekend ahead, and let's take a look at the feature. It is out of Te Rapa, so first and foremost, weather and track. Aidan, what's happening?
Yeah, unfortunately, we just haven't got the updates that we really would have expected through. So this Heavy 9 has been updated from Wednesday morning. Unfortunately, nothing has come through yet to say, you know, it's been beautiful weather down there, and we've got really good weather until we've got, just a sprinkling of light rain on Saturday. Nothing that should affect conditions. Hopefully, we're going to improve. Have improved already, to be better than this Heavy 9, and we hopefully can improve again. But the scene should be set for a decent day's racing, Leith.
Yeah, certainly. Probably the track's going to play a little bit better than it was last season as well.
Yeah.
And here is the market for the Group 2 feature. Race 7 on the programme. Alabama Lass at 245, just pushing a touch to 250. You've got first five there at 650 and Chillian at $8.50. What do you make of this market, Sweens?
What do I make? I look, first five is continuously underrated. I really don't know why. I think he should have been closer at Alabama Lass. I think there's a case that Sterling Express could have been a little bit shorter in the marker on last preparation as well. So she is a speed machine. There's no doubt about that, Alabama Lass. But look, he was ultra consistent last time, first five, and he's back at home. Boys, the map.
Yeah, look, first five, he's probably going to be the Sprinter of the Year in New Zealand, the awards coming up. And from Barry at 4, he just maps to get a beautiful run in the race. There's so much speed inside him. There's Chillian, Trevor O'Toole led last start. Alabama Lashes and Barry at 10. She's going to have to do a little bit of work, and it'll be interesting how the jockeys on Twain, Chris Shetty and even Spencer, if they elect to sort of hold him out a little bit.
Yeah, I think River Plate adds to that as well. Dusty Rhodes, another one who will want to go forward. It does look like a lot of speed in this race. It should mean it's truly run, and it should mean that every horse in this race gets their best chance.
And that's what we want come Saturday. Now, before we do dive into the form, it's time to get out to the track. We had Nicole Sims for us this week, and she did catch up with Ken Calso and just asked him how Alabama Lass did spell.
No, she spelled very well, Nicole. She went to Henley Park in Cambridge, and Sarah does a great job. She came back in great order. She put on about 40 kilos, so she looked great when she started back.
Obviously, with a bit more age on her, often we say, especially fillies into mares, they do strengthen up. And what have you noticed this preparation in terms of her and her work ethic and how she's been working?
Yeah, no, she's really strengthened up. She looks great. She looks a different horse, actually. She's really strengthened up. So she's good in the coat. She's really thriving at the moment.
And The trial, post that, what did you take out of it and what was the feedback?
No, she trialled very well. I mean, she's always trialled good. I think she won the corresponding trial there last year before she ran second in the Moya. So it was a heavy 10. She gets through it all right, but she was looked back to herself. You know, after what happened at Ellerslie, it was a shock to everyone. But no, Mike said she felt great. Her action was good, breathing was good. So. No, we're happy with it going forward.
Yeah, so very similar preparation to last time when she kicked off her campaign, Lethan. This was a really nice trial from her.
Yeah, and the track's probably going to be similar, if not better than this as well. She looked happy. Michael didn't do a lot on her. I thought there was a couple of good runs in there. I thought Tardelli on the inside was really good. And Media World, he's an interesting runner after having his first start for Stephen Marsh, and by all accounts he's going well as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a key trial because Chileans in there, the horse is coming down the outside, Sterling Express, who won this race last year. That was a terrific trial. But the one thing we go back and look at with Alabama Lass, we know she's high class. We know she's, one of the best sprinters in New Zealand. Maybe a little bit iffy on a heavy track, so hopefully that track does improve for her. But she travelled beautifully in that trial, Bevan, and that suggests that she is back to something like her best form.
I love her, make no mistake, but she's fragile. She is fragile, and look, she's always trialled up well because she's got great natural speed, so she looks amazing at the trials. It's when that real race day pressure goes on her that the chinks come out in the armour. Look, if she gets it right and there's no issues with her in the run, then she will lead up and be extremely hard to beat. But she's just not a betting proposition for me at that sort of price. We've seen some pretty spectacular things from her race day in a couple of ways, and then we've seen some major disappointments with her. So it's more race day pressure with her for me. I thought Sterling Express was outstanding in that trial. I think his price is something you need to snap up, and he was fantastic last season in the same race. So, yeah, just not at 245. I love watching her go around because she's spectacular when she gets it right, but she's fragile. She's fragile.
I can't believe you're saying that she's fragile. I agree with you around price. I think she's a little bit skinnier than what I'd expected her to be, but how can you say she's been fragile? She's beaten up some of the best sprinters in New Zealand by margins. Yeah, things didn't go right last preparation. She ran away from the whip when Sam Collett was aboard her in that King's Plate, but fragile's tough. She's a quality sprinter and the equal of any horse in this race. I think she'll prove you wrong in a big statement.
Well, I suppose that's how you define fragile. Like if you're going to go really, really short price and pop on a couple of occasions as she has, you would say that she's not one of those ultra rock solid, consistent sprinters like you've seen Fuse 5 last season. So all I'm saying is 245. As I said, she's fantastic when she gets it 100% right, and if she leads up and gets it right, she will be in front and if not winning the whole way. But I'm just not shopping 245 on her against some senior sprinters. Fantastic horse, one of the best sprinters in the country, but the price is too short for me.
Well, I think she'll be quite happy that she's not drawn the inside on the running rail. She won't see it on Saturday. But look, I know what you're saying, Sweens. Look, she's got a few tricks. When she went to Moonee Valley one night, she was off her head. Like, you could just see her in the parade ring, and she was fragile. She raced like it as well. Look, I think the gate's okay for her. The only hard thing for her is there's probably 3 or 4 runners on the inside. If they decide to make it tough for Michael, he's going to be 4 and 5 wide with no cover, and she'll be fragile the last 50 minutes.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
Either way, I'm loving the passion. More passion, more power. All right, from there, of course, Stephen Marsh had 2 out of that trial as well. Tardelli and Media World, and Nicole just asked how Tardelli came through that trial.
Yeah, look, he's a really nice colt. He obviously ran 4th in the railway. Last start, I thought his trial was great. Kyle rode him at the trials. He's come through that well. He's had his final main gallop here Tuesday. I think he's going really, really well. There's probably a little bit, I was a little bit nervous whether he'd actually make the field, but only 14 noms, which is good. But, good week of weather. I think the track's going to be in pretty good order. I think he's going really well. If he can draw a gate, I think he'll sprint very well in a fresh state.
Media World, I guess you're getting to know him more and more, obviously, over from Australia, and his trial as well, excellent.
Yeah, he's been lucky enough to have 2 trials this time in. His first trial at Avondale was great. His next try is probably a little bit fresh. He almost led Alabama Lass, but he'll just sit off the speed this time. And again, its final gallop yesterday. I think we've got two really nice colts going for the race, and hopefully they can springboard to the Prasia from here.
Key information there too, just where he thinks Media World might posse up in that race, and he is the interesting factor this year, Leith.
Yeah, look, he's been racing some good fields in Australia. Like he was just behind them in a Group 3 race in Melbourne, so he's going to find it a lot easier. The gate for him's a little bit tricky. I think they'll be a little bit sort of kind to him. They'll drop back from the outside there. I thought Tardelli, of the two runners, is probably I've got him just in front. I thought he tried up super at Te Rapa last time.
Yeah, I thought both the trials were pretty good, and it just means that Stephen Marsh has got a hand here and one to look forward to the 1400 as well. But I don't know. This is it's a big step for them to wait for age fresh up on a rain affected track. But real respect around two good chances for the Marsh stable.
Absolutely, and then we can't forget about last year's winner in Sterling Express, Nicole, to catch up with Mark Brosnan and just said to him, isn't he a rock star?
Oh, he's a star for us, yeah, but it is a strong field and it's a lot, more class in it this year. But he'll get back and he'll be running on strong, I hope, yeah.
In terms of his training, where is he at compared to last year?
Well, last year he was up most of the winter, so he only had a short break and come into it really fresh. This year he's had that trial, which he tried up really well. We're happy, we're happy where the stage he is at, yeah.
Look, he's a serious horse, but they're right, completely different preparation from when he won it last year.
Yeah, look, he trials up. His trial was super. His fresh up record's good as well. From barrier 3, I don't think he's going to be too far off them. He's not going to be back second last or third last. He might be midfield, and if they go hard, gets the right run, he can definitely win this race.
I think last year he was going into the race as a horse who they thought was, a good, winter galloper with a bit of talent. This year we know he's a proven horse who's up to weight for age standard. He's run 4th in a Prasia Plate off the back of winning this race last year. So that trial says he's going really well. Mark Brosnan knows him a lot better, and he might be a horse to really follow through this season. I expect a bold run from him.
I'm having something on him at the price. I think he'll get the perfect run into this race. I think there's, as Leith mentioned, if they kick up inside Alabama Lass, then they are going to fly in this. I think that suits him perfectly. He's going to get a smother run. He's got a turn of foot, there's no doubt about that. The trial was outstanding. So I'm happy enough to go a little bit each way on him. I think the price is right on the mark.
Yeah, leave him out at your peril. But then we've also got to talk about these two stars. Here's Crochetti and, of course, First Five and behind him. Very, very good trial from Crochetti, but it was from First Five too, just quiet and behind.
Yeah, obviously First Five was just, Billy didn't move on him. That's probably what you want to see. For Crochetti, he goes so good fresh. Yep. And he needs to run in the top 3 to get in the Prasia Plate. He's currently, the conditions of it, he hasn't won a race for over 18 months. On his best day, I know Danny Walker will have him spot on this Saturday in 1,200 metres. I can see him going a really big race this week.
Massive trial trial from a high quality horse who's only been beaten once in a race at Te Rapa, and that was
quite hard to say. He's on 105 rating and he can't get in the Prasia Plate. Yeah, but the conditions are there.
Yep.
So he's got to run top 3 this week, and I think he will.
Runs well fresh, handles a wet track. There's so much to like about Crochetti. He's my second pick in the race.
He's never not looked fantastic at the trials. You go back through his record, and I was just scanning back through it then. Like every time he's been to the trials, he's looked outstanding. He's got all the ability, there's no doubt about that. I do expect him to run a race, but I just can't go with him until I see the best of him back again.
Yeah, fair enough. And then another runner we have to talk about is Affirmative Action, and Nicole did catch up with Pam Jarrett and just asked what George Rook made of the trial.
Yeah, George is really happy with him. Obviously knows him very well, and he's been coming over riding and work, and we think we're pretty much on the mark to where we want to have him. I think it's a little bit of a learning curve for us this Saturday. As you said, very hard to take on the weight for age, especially early in the season, but he's a pretty big, strong horse. He's a lot more balanced, a lot more even. He's getting through his work a lot easier than what he did last year, so I figured this is a nice starting point for us just to see which way we go with him after this.
And we take a look at his trial on the track here at Te Rapa. How did you assess this, Lee?
Yeah, no, he was super. He's another one. He doesn't mind a bit of cutting the track. Obviously ran second in 2,000 guineas on that Bogless Riccarton track. He's at overs. He probably shouldn't be 30 to 1. And look, they'll ride him quiet from this outside gate of 9. But if he gets a suck up run into the race and they go too hard up front, look, I can see him running at sort of top 4, top 3.
Yep, only 4-year-old in the race this year. Like you say, his Group 1 performed, and obviously he's forward enough to be running a really good trial there on what was a pretty testing track. He's a beautiful mover, a really athletic horse. I was just going to be against him this weekend. I think this is just a little bit of a task against some of the best sprinters in the country.
Yeah, look, I really want to see this horse in the flesh, this preparation. I remember seeing him at Te Rapa. I'm thinking, well, he's really going to make an animal in further time because he had the frame about him. Trial was great. I'm with Leith. I think he certainly can run in the top 4. And I think that's what PMC was so true with him. They can decide which way they go with him this preparation after Saturday, whether they stretch him out or he can be really competitive at the top. All that said, I'm going to go with first 5. Again, he was supreme last season. His win at Trentham, outstanding. We got $10 back up at Te Rapa that day and he blew them off the racetrack again. So, look, he might be half a run short, but I stick with the ship, and I think first 5 off that trial can run a massive race on Saturday.
Yeah, he was a sprinter of the season last year. First 5, he's going to go a good race. I thought he might be just at half a run short, but... Look, I certainly wouldn't be surprised if Emma Battler comes out and wins $2.50. She's short enough off the 10. Barrier 10 is going to be a little bit of a niggle there. So Chris Shetty, he has to run in the top 3 to be in the Foxbridge Plate, and he'll be ready this week. $10 and 3.
Yep, I agree with both you guys. I think they're both really into this, as long with Sterling Express as well. But I'm going with the fragile one. She goes on top for me, Alabama Lass.
Oh, I love it. All right, so everybody different. I think that just goes to show the depth in this year's running of the Foxbridge Plate. Speaking about this year, we're going to take you back now to last year's running with the Sterling Express taking it out as we take you to a break.
This is the edition of the Waikato Stud Foxbridge Plate. They're away and racing, and Sterling Express walked out. Well back towards the outside, Sterling Express, Joshua Brown is well back. Down to the 250 they come, Larsa giving a side. Sacred Satono still there, 2 lengths away, Twain. In behind them, here's Sterling Express starting to power home. Larsa, Sterling Express, and through on the inside, Gosh Bowden, Sterling Express. Sterling Express wins the Waikato Stud Foxbridge Plate. Mark Brosnan and Masa Haksasumi. It'll win it. Start 19, win number 8. Now Group 2 winner of the Waikato Stud Foxbridge Plate.
And wasn't he impressive? What a winner of the Foxbridge Plate. Sterling Express from last sweeps to victory and does it so impressively with that dazzling turn of foot to get up and score.
Welcome back into the form. Before we go back to Te Rapa and that undercard, it's time for our black bookers on the form. Leith, who's yours this week?
A little bit different, Pip. Ruakaka was up there last Saturday, and Tuxedo and Tajana, they both had a little gallop, and Tuxedo, he's come back big and strong. He's in for a big year, this horse. He could be sort of a Livermore, sort of Howard Insurance, the middle day mile race. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes out even both of them or one of them.
Yeah.
Currently sort of at $6 price in the mile race and $4 in the Livermore. But look, they both backed them this season. They're both in for a really big season.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to take you back to Taupo last Sunday, and also was just uber impressive. Quickest first 400, quickest last 8, 6 to 4 and 200 of the race. It was a dominant performance from a 4-year-old who's got so much ability, and this was a statement performance from Kate Ranganga. I don't think it's the end of the road. I think we'll just see this horse starting to streak him together, so I want to be on him next time out as well.
I'm going to take you back to the trials on Tuesday, and War Princess. These are all spring horses we're talking about here, and this is a different horse at the trials, man. Look, I was surprised when I saw it walk into the birdcage, War Princess. She's really bulked up, and she knows it when she's walking around the birdcage. She's going to an open 12 on the first day of the Bay. I think that's in a couple of weeks, and she's a different horse, and I think she can really pick up a nice race this preparation.
And I'm taking to a horse that's featured here before, but Kyanite Man, he over-raced right throughout here when they buttoned off the speed, and for him to still actually be coming back at them behind a very nice type for Kim Reid, who wins this, of course, the full to Hi-Yo Sassbomb, Hi-Yo Fox Rocks. I thought this was a great run. His sectionals were really good. If he didn't over-race, I think he would have got even closer. So one to follow now that he's over the 2,000 metres for Kevin Myers. And those are our black bookers. Tuxedo, Cape Rihanna, Lianga, War Princess and Kai Night Man. From there we are now going to concentrate back in on Te Rapa and have a look at their bumper undercard, including quite a few $40,000 features on the program. But first up, we'll be taking a look at the open handicap over the 2100 metres. Thank you, Savabeel. Diamond Jack, $4.80 favourite. Joshua Brown's at $5.50. Fly My Way, Quick Fire. I could go on and on, Sweens. Very open race.
Yep, and I was surprised the price around, he's a sharp one, I think $5.50 around that horse is a good price. I understand around Diamond Jack. He was fantastic beating Cheval de Foudre. I just didn't think wanted to win that race, but take nothing away from Diamond Jack. 62, done it before, understandable, but I just thought he's a sharp one, should have been closer.
He's a sharp one, probably looks like the natural leader by default. There's no speed in the race. Maybe Quick Fire if there was going to be a leader, but he looks like he's going to be outside the leader in the trail. Obviously, you got Joshua Brown, who's going to get back first time over ground, and Diamond Jack. Yep,
I couldn't see too much speed in there. Maybe Fly My Way just gets into a good position. I think you want to be handy because I don't think they'll be going very a strong pace.
Okay, that's the speed in the race. Let's take you back out to the track with Mark Bronson, who's got the two in it. Diamond Jack and, of course, Fly My Way. And Nicole just asked him if he schools Diamond Jack between races.
Yeah, we school him a lot at home just to keep his mind ticking over, and because he's not the sanest horse in the world, being honest, but he's amazed us what he's done. Yeah.
Just from a horse point of view, what you talk about obviously in terms of him, what does he enjoy about the schooling? Is it just the fact it's different?
Yeah, with him it's just keeping him things different with him. He's a real thinker and doing that, and he's very weak too. There's not much of him. Well, he's a big horse, but his framework, he's not much of him at all. Yeah.
Well, he's in form. Let's hope he can stay that way. Fly My Way, another gallant effort behind Diamond Jack. How has this horse come through?
He's come through it really well. A month between runs is probably a bit long for him, but the track improving, he would be the better chance of the two, because I think the track's going to improve to a 6 or a 7, I would think. So, and he's got a big weight pool, but the other fella beat him last time, so who knows, yeah.
Let's take you back to the Taumarunui Gold Cup, and he was just so impressive this day, Diamond Jack. 62 kilos, absolutely loves the place.
Yeah, look, he loves Te Rapa, and he's not going to receive this track this week. Look, it's only a small field, it's not overly strong. Can he win? He might be a win chance, but I can't quite have him on my ticket this week.
The big difference here is obviously this was a bigger field. It was a lot stronger run. This is no speed in this race. So being a swooper has certainly helped us in the right part of the track, out wider there. But, you know, hats off to him. He's won 2 Taumarunui Cups in a row, but this isn't quite as easy for mine.
I don't really have anything to add. I don't know how he did this. Diamond Jack actually was 62 against some pretty short, smart staying horses who had lots of weight relief, so it was a superb performance. But I think I agree. In firming track conditions, 62 kilos doesn't quite suit my eye, but again, he wouldn't surprise.
No, absolutely not. All right, what about He's a Sharp One, who the team have mapped to possibly lead this race, and this is him in rating 75 company, and he was very good, of course, dropped some weight going open class.
He was, and he was going to be very unlucky not to win. Matt had to sort of come out. He loves Te Rapa, he loves that better track. He's a horse with a bright future, this horse, and look, the best thing, he gets in here with 54 kilos, and like, there's no speed in the race. From barrier 5, he's going to be on speed as well, somewhere probably leading or outside leader.
Yep, he was pretty good. Chalbury really good in this race as well with the quickest closing sectionals. The one thing you need to just take into account is that both these horses were in the Taumarunui Cup as well, and were both pretty good in the race, but they were further back. They were chasing horses like Fly My Way and Company Home. So while I've had the extra run under their belt and maybe the map suits He's a Sharp One better, this isn't just a standout race, you know. It's a really open, even affair here.
I really like him. He's a sharp one. I thought behind Diamond Jack, he sort of got stuck down there, and had to come through in the wrong part of the track. So I actually thought his run was pretty good. Yeah, I agree. He would have been a tragedy beat last time. The map does suit me perfectly for him on Saturday as well.
And then we've also got Joshua Brown. Now we'll take you back to the Opunake Cup where he finishes right down the track. Reading the Stipes report, you know, he needed further possibly in a wetter track lead. So you just put that to the side and know what he does here?
Yeah, look, I don't know. He's a little bit tricky to say the least. 2,000 metres, it's not a strong field for Joshua Brown. He's been racing against some really good horses. Probably 2,100 metres on a better track's probably going to suit him because they're going to go slow, and if it turned into a sprint home and he decided to click, he could come out and win this race by 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah, his closing sectionals are about the 3rd best in this Opunake Cup, but he just didn't travel early, which is not like him. You get a better track this time round, and he's jumping from 14 to 2,100, which is a real unknown for him. I know they've been wanting to try middle distance, but there's so many question marks for me. I'm just going to have to...
He's not a horse you want to back, but you wouldn't be surprised if he actually did. If it turned up and he went bang, he'll win this race by 3 lengths, 55.5 kilos, but he's got a few too many tricks for me.
Jeez, I thought you were almost going to call that horse fragile, A-Rod. Joshua Brown, yeah, he didn't want to be there at New Plymouth. He is very, very specific on his track conditions that he'll perform on. He jumped out, didn't like it, and he just pulled the plug on the race. We spoke with the Stipes and that after that just to get a rundown on him, and the report from, I think, Lindsay it was that he just didn't want to be there. So he, I mean, I couldn't have him on Saturday, especially on improving track conditions, Joshua Brown. But if he gets the right track, then he can blow a good field off the racetrack. He is a very good winner galloper when he gets it right.
He could be the leader in the race. There's no speed, and he's got blinkers on this week, so maybe Joshua Brown... He
has run handy before, actually, you say that.
Right, Lee, are you with him then?
No, he could just flop out of the gates, and then he might take hockey. You just don't know what you're going to get with Joshua Brown, and wouldn't be surprised they put him on the speed with blinkers
If
on.
I was going to describe him, I'd just call him temperamental. We know that he goes out onto the training track and will only train if he wants to train. Sometimes he'll just pull himself up and won't do it.
Oh, you've got to put a stake in the ground occasionally, A-Rod. Put the stake in the ground, man.
Well, let's put a stake in the ground in this race. Can you give me your on-top selection?
I'm going to go he's a sharp one. Matt Cartwright's had 4 rides on him for 3 wins, gets down to that 54 kilos, and I think he'll be going very hard to beat in this race.
Right, I'm happy to be with Blow My Way here. He beat home He's a Sharp one last time out when both of them were just about similar positions. I just think he's beautifully placed here. His campaign's been good without winning. I think this is his race.
Yeah, thinking about it, I might duck Kenny Kelso for the next 6 months at the races if I see him. I'm going to go with He's a Sharp one. I think the map suits up beautifully as well, so I think I'm with Leith, He's a Sharp one.
Okay, I like it. Right, from there we are moving on to race number 5 on the program. The rating 75 here, and taking a look at the market. There's the Return to Conquer Mile, where Zenith is your 440 favourite, backed into from $5. Then you've got Afterglow pushing the other way to 5s, and Amazonia at that $5 quote. So pretty open again, team. What about the speed in the race?
Yeah, look, only been a small field. I thought probably the natural leader in the race was Amazonia. Zenith was good last start. Probably it doesn't look like a lot of speed. Afterglow was just okay over ground last time, and she probably looks, wanting a bit more rain.
Yeah, absolutely. Mississippi Gambler and Billy Blinks both have alternate acceptances as well, so whether they start or not, it'll take further speed out of a race that really doesn't have a lot of speed anyhow. So to get handy, I think will be an advantage here.
Okay, what about for you, Sweens? What are you liking in this race?
Oh, I thought Zenith's performance was off the map, actually, at Te Rapa, and they backed it off the map. I think they backed it into favourite from 13s or 14s on the day. It set 3 wide on speed and gave them one. It just took off at the top of the straight. There's always been good ability. I'm going to stick with Zenith. I think it'll go forward, actually, Zenith, and sit right there. Matt Cartwright's picked up the ride on Saturday. Look, it is a bit of a wet tracker. That is the one big concerning factor with Zenith. But, look, it was too good to ignore last start.
Yeah, I thought Rib Cracker goes good at Te Rapa as well. He's got the top weight of 59.5 kilos, but I've landed on Afterglow. Give run last time over ground. I don't think we'll be seeing her staying again. And I know Stephen Aldridge is really happy with how she's going. Okay,
there's an aisle in Cambridge, the training track where Ben Foot and John Bell train. There's 4 between those 2 in this 10. And I thought that John Bell had a really strong hand in the race, as does as Ben and Ryan Foot. So in the end, on with Sweens, I thought Zenith was terrific. All the best closing sectionals after being, like you said, backed off the map last time out.
Okay, so that does kick off the late quaddie. What about the race that ends the early quaddie? Let's have a look at race number 4 on the program here. Sweet But Psycho comes into this off the back of multiple seconds at $5.50. RJ's Flight at $6. Paper Romance is sitting there at $7.50, and Ziggy Khan. Big field, big prices, Lee. Who did you put on top?
Sweet By Psycho. She's been costly for the punters, but look, $5.50. She's hard for 2,500 metres should suit her. Look, it's an even enough field, but I thought the $5.50s should be winning this week.
Oh, she's had so many chances, but she has been really good.
She's free draw as well, maybe? She's free draw?
No.
Oh, let it go, let it go.
She meets with Grace 2.5 kilograms better, and I think that's a 20-point size with her as well.
If Michael's riding it, it's not fragile. So I'm Sweet But Psycho. I'm definitely with her ran second. Look, she has been extremely expensive in recent times, and to be fair, this is a tough race to really work out. I'll give her each way proposition to Ziggy Khan. I think is a pretty tough sort of staying horse from the city at 2,400 metres.
Okay, so maybe it is Sweet But Psycho on Saturday. From there, we move to race number 6 on the program, and this one here is the Drossen 1200, where Sati returns to the races for the Calsos at 2.30, and from 2.50, then you've got Amusement and Deep Pursuit. So no real surprise to see Sati come up favourite. Where do you see the horse mapping, Leith?
Yeah, look, he's well found in the market, open at 2.50, and from barrier 2, it just gives Michael so many options. He should get a nice sit just behind a race. It doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of tempo. Maybe Faultless from the outside, Feel the Stag.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Girls. Not too sure whether they'll start here either or not. Sati hasn't shown a lot of tactical speed so far, but the barrier draws an advantage. Yeah, exactly. True. Yeah.
Okay, that's the speed in the race. Let's get to you, Sweens. Are you with the favourite here or looking elsewhere?
I think I'll start the trifecta. I'll go Sati, 60 kilos. Never easy, but there's not that massive spread in these weights at 65 grade. So I thought the trial was a quiet one for the Kelsos, and I think Sati is very tough to beat with Nebra.
Yeah, obviously he's got the 60 kilos to carry, but I think he's better than a rating 65, this horse, and looking forward to him. He'll be winning on Saturday.
Yeah, I can't see too much up against him here that's got his quality. He's looked absolutely, like a top liner at points of his career. So trialled up beautifully. I think he's a big chance.
Okay, and then from there we want to take you to race number 8 on the program. It's the rating 65 over the 1,500 metres here for the Chittick family back Butch Castle's Legacy Trust. And you can see Drommy for the Flitzers at $6, Born to be Royal at $7, Halo's Fire at $8.50, and Capote. I said the others were open. This is pretty open. What's happening with the speed?
Look, Drommy's probably going to run in the 75 race as well earlier in the day. So Halo's Fire, it's found a pretty hard sort of race and map. Halo's Fire, Capote outside, Bella's Boy, we've got a nice run in behind the leaders. And look, Mississippi Gambler, Sam McNabb on, takes the 2 kilos off.
Okay, so that's where you think the speed will be, and really it's just from Halo's Fire, but about one to follow. Aidan, who was yours?
I went with Mississippi Gambler. Obviously, this is in a couple of races, but there was a terrific run last time out here at Te Rapa. All the quickest closing sectionals, even all the runs, started off with a really good first up win at Rotorua and has just progressed from there. Looks to be a talented mare, going well, and I thought nicely placed in this race too, Bevan.
Yeah, I think we'll move one here, lads. Mississippi Gambler, I think $10 is a big over in this particular race. I expect it to close into maybe 8s, even shorter than 8s on the day. So I'm in agreement here. This horse has been hitting the line really, really strongly the last couple of kilos coming off. It's coming back to 1,500 metres, which is a niggle at the back of my mind, but I'm happy to shop $10. I think Mississippi Gambler at that price is pretty attractive.
Yeah, I've got her on top as well, so she's probably going to drift out to that sort of $14 market if we're all picked her. So, look, I think the big plus, Sam McNabb on, gets down to 56 kilos.
Okay, so everyone in agreement in the 8th on the program, and that does complete our look at the feature meeting out of Te Rapa, taking you to another break. Don't go far, though. Plenty more to come on the form this morning. Time for our trial files on the form. And Leith, there were some pretty good trials at Taupo the other day. You picked out one.
Yeah, it certainly was, Pip. Obviously, Heat 1, they ran 2 seconds faster than the second heat as well. Drops of Gold was super impressive. She's a Group 1 horse in the waiting. I'm picking the Railway or something like that, end of the season. But she's a dealer. She was giving a sort of a 50-metre head start here, and she was just going through her gears. And look, you got to just watch once she gets past the winning post. She is absolutely humming.
Yeah.
Look, I think
go to the Parisia Plate.
She's going to Parisia Plate. She'll be hitting the line, but I think the middle day at Hawke's Bay and the last day of the Livermore.
Yeah.
She could take out one of those, I'd say. She's at $10 at both of those races.
I know there was thoughts on missing the Parisia Plate earlier on, wasn't there? Because she won a Group 1 at 1600
She's galloping at
metres
Ellerslie next Thursday, but look, going off her trial, they're really happy how she's going.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of lovely trials, so let's have a look at the second one. And of course, it was well written here. And boy, I think Stephen Marsh had a big smile on his face after this one, Leith.
Look, obviously she trialled up at Cambridge on the poly track and they didn't move on her. And to be honest, she looked just okay. Everyone's in the back of the mind, will they come back as full? She had a very hard campaign, but this showed Matt gave her a squeeze and she sprinted pretty quick. Like the trial of Checkmate in the trial as well. He was really good. He went for his gears well and he could be like a TAB Mufasa sort of mile horse, middle day at Riccarton.
We saw her last year. She's a summer horse, summer track horse. So obviously she was just being worked on a little bit to get through conditions. Once she got into top gear, didn't she? She cruised. She looks great. She's gone jump out, poly trial, turf trial. She's taken over just where this team wants her.
She's got a bonus in line too if she wins the
She does. There's a bonus for the first 4-year-old to win a Group 1 race of the season. It's to encourage 4-year-old participation in the early Group 1 races. There's only 3 4-year-olds entered in that first Group 1. So there's
you
a
think
500.
she'll be ready?
I think she'll be ready.
How much is the bonus?
500,000.
Wow.
Here's my trial as well. So I thought the horse on the inside here, who does actually get pipped on the line, am I on the outside? Gold Star Patch here.
Don't you laugh, Aidan.
Both very good trials.
And Hong Kong too.
I am on the inside, aren't I? Aren't I?
You're on the outside.
I'm on the outside. Anyhow.
Talking about
I've got to go back and have a
fragile.
look again. I just can't see the colours here.
Oh, you have an excuse.
I'm colourblind,
Kevin
exactly.
Just watch Kevin Myers here. That's Platinum Attack
God,
out front.
I
He was
could be
given
doing
one
that.
at this particular trial to get ready for the Parisia Plate. Sunset Boulevard, open mile possibly next Saturday at Riccarton.
Okay, there is our trial file. So She's a Dealer, Gold Star Patch and Sunset Boulevard. Right, we're getting reset because we are now concentrating in on Hawke's Bay. Yes, we're heading to Hastings. Great to be back in the Bay, Sweens, this time of year. Track-wise, what are we expecting?
It's heavy 10 at the present moment. I have rung the Bureau about both Te Rapa and Hastings. They do expect Te Rapa to get into the 6 sort of range with no further rain. They do expect a tick of improvement at the Bay as well, but we have no update from the tracks themselves. So it's in a heavy 10 state at the present moment. The one day we've been there in a heavy 10 state, it was tough work. There were some jump outs there, was it last Monday? And I did speak to a couple of the riders who were happy with how the track did run. So we'll see on Saturday. It's a learning curve around this particular track going forward.
Yeah, it really is, but let's hope for some good weather leading into Saturday. And here is the first race we want to take a look at. It is the Open Mile, where Amira D'Agento is on the big backup from Saturday after winning 290 up to 310, Benefactor at 340 and Knockoff at 370. What do you think about the market in the small field, Bevan?
Well, I thought it was good tipping from Aidan around Amira D'Agento at its most recent win at New Plymouth, and I thought it was a really good effort, and I thought the horse got on really nicely with the young apprentice. I thought it was a decent sort of ride from the young apprentice there, so I don't think there's any reason why it couldn't win again. Benefactor sticks back up. I think Knockoff is rounding to something worthwhile. Mansell Blues trying to get to a Melbourne Cup, and we did speak to Lisa. We'll hear that shortly around Bellardo Boy, who wouldn't surprise. Interesting race, lads.
Yeah, certainly is a small field. Doesn't look like a lot of speed. Knockoff probably leads by default. Obviously, Bellardo Boy, Barrier 3, they might be a little bit more positive than you think with the big weight. The Entertainer goes forward and Mansell Blue goes back.
I didn't see much pace here at all. Knockoff was able to get to the speed last time out and maybe just peaked on the run. I think it's an even softer run here and looks to be a great chance from up there.
Okay, well, Lisa Latta has a very good hand in the race, and Bevan did catch up with her and just asked her how Man's All Blues been.
Yeah, she is. Look, she's coming up really well. Couldn't be happier with her. Look, obviously a mile short of her best, but it's a good starting point for her.
Okay, what's the long-term plan?
Oh, look, we'd dearly love to get to Melbourne, and I mean, that's a pipe dream, but we'll work our way towards that and go from there.
Okay, the old fella's in again, Bellardo boy. He sort of hasn't quite done what we expected of him.
No, look, he's had a few hiccups. We've changed a few things around, and I really think I've finally got him right now, so I'm looking for a much improved effort, and hopefully that track stays in the heavy range.
And Benefactor back up in grade on Saturday?
Yeah, probably gets in at a nice weight though, and probably that's the key to getting into those races, and she doesn't mind a wet track.
Really good thoughts there around Bellardo boy, if she's got him right, and he is in this race as we take you back to Otaki over the mile. But Benefactor was great too, got that lovely inside run and really ran away late.
Yeah, really good ride by Kelly, saved the ground on the inside, and it's good to see this horse back in its form as well. Gets into a nice weight, 56 kilos, Kelly on again, barrier 5, probably maps the sort of just some on speed.
Yeah, Knockoff comes in on the same weight, so meets Benefactor, 2 better, Bellardo boy 3 better, and with a more favourable map. I thought Knockoff was a decent chance, but obviously the margin suggests that this horse is going really well, and you have to respect again.
I just don't think the Knockoff's a leader. Look, all of his best performances have come flashing home, and that's how he performed at the trial. So it'll be interesting how they ride him on Saturday. I do agree with the map that you put up, boys, that look, he's the only one that can go forward. So it's going to be really interesting. Without any shadow of the doubt, the best horse at a mile on a winter going is Bellardo boy. We just haven't seen the best of him. Just got the feeling from Lisa that she might have worked something out with him, because his track work has been fantastic. He just hasn't been applying at race day.
Yeah, she certainly indicated that, Sween. So are you heading that way, or are you going with a Lisa Latta runner? Who'd you put on top?
Well, I went with Knockoff at Otaki, got beat by Benefactor, so I'll just stick with Knockoff. He hasn't had a lot of favours across this entire preparation. He was much better there off a really good trial, so I've got a sneaky feeling he's winding or sort of firming into a really good performance. I'm not sure this race shape suits him best for his racing pattern, but it probably suits him best on the mat, clearly.
Yeah, I wasn't really fussed on the whole race, to be fair, but look, the odds surge, you're getting $4.40 on Knockoff. If I was going to have a bet, I'd be on him this week.
For mine, I'm going to stick with the Mira de Gento. I did like what we saw last time out. Carried 55 that day. Abner Simon's 4 kilogram claim. He can't claim down to the full 50, but he can ride 51. So it's still 3 kilograms lighter than last time. So I'm just going to go again.
Yeah, it was great for him to get his first win in the saddle too. So that is a look at the Open. Now we take you to another key race on the card. This is race number 6 here. You can see Amazing Sun in a really good race. Heads up the betting at $5. Test wins there. Procol Boy, Cremont testing. If you weren't really fussed on the previous race, you've got to be on this one, Lee.
Yeah, definitely. This is a good betting race. Pip, full field of 10, and there's a number of chances. Look, the speed's going to be a little bit interesting. For Coco Bill, probably from barrier 1 can lead. Tom Wigman gets a 3 kilos off, gets down to a nice weight of 55 kilos. Amazing Sun's been good his last 2 runs. Exit left, the number 1 to go forward as well.
Yeah, I agree. Coco Bill will probably lead off its last performance from an inside gate, and Tom Wigram being aboard. Look, I'm going to go with Coco Bill. I did speak with Andrew on Tuesday. He was sneaky on the Foxbridge as well, actually, with his horse. Tried up nicely as well. He said, I spoke to him at length, he said that on the work through the week, he'll be really, really tough to beat. But, man, I've got a lot of time for Procol Boy. He led last time. He's more of a chaser. Amazing Sun's got good ability as well, but he's a little bit hit and miss. We know Tess Win's a good horse, and Florin was great behind Jager at Taupo. This is a decent sort of race. I think plenty of these will turn up at the Bay in a few weeks' time as well.
Yeah, it's a very good betting race. Tess Win's a home track horse as well. Miss Anna Lee, I liked what I saw last start. I know Peter Locke tipped her out in the form, and look, you're getting $8, $2.60. Chris Dow down to ride, gets in off a nice weight of 54 kilos. Great each way chance.
I just found this race a real puzzle. It's had my head spinning with it. I did like Florin from Topo, but I've ended up with Coco Bill. Just thought lands in the right spot and should be improved by that first up second.
Okay, from race number 6, we now take you to race number 7 on the program. And again, got a good betting affair here too for the Animal Health Direct stayers. Bundy, 4.20, Maleki there at 4.20 and Arksy at $5. Sweens, what did you think of this market?
Interesting, because I think if Kevin was really wanting Bundy to win, he might have taken some weight off the back at 60.5. But he's flying. Maliki has been spooked by El Shirok and backed it up. Archie's been backed a couple of times and just been beaten. He needs it deep wet to be really competitive. Ocean Miller's just been up forever and just keeps on running, the tiny little mare. She's been great all season, so not sure would be my answer.
Yeah, look, it's another good race to finish the card off race 7. Kwanzaa from the inside's got good speed. Jungle Land's probably another horse that can be on the speed there. Malachi was good last start, and from the outside gate, they'll probably look to just sort of ride him a little bit quiet out of the gates.
Okay, so that's the speed. Sweens, you mentioned Kevin and whether or not he thinks Bundy's going to win. Does it matter to you? Are you still putting him on top?
He was fantastic down south, clearly. He's come a long way in a short period. It's just weight-wise. I'm not saying the horse is there to win, but at 60.5, look, taking some weight off would have been a big assist. He's obviously a stable rider, so expect him to be really competitive. But I went with Arksy. I think Arksy might get a spin round down to the 54 kilos. Wet track conditions prevailing there, which he does love, and he's been very close on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I thought Malachi was well placed. Tom Wigram on, gets 3 kilos off his back. Alan said just keep backing him for the next couple of starts. So, look, I think he's got a jumping race in mind soon as well, so he might be going for 4 in a row after this week.
Yeah, well, Bevan talking about one that needs a wet track. Well, it's going to be like that, isn't it, Hastings, by the sounds? And that's I'm with Arksy as well. Beat home, I think, 3 rivals here and meets them at least a kilogram or better off this time round again. So Arksy on top for me.
Okay, and that does complete the key look at some races, but we also need something else to follow on the program, Leith. So who was it for you? Yeah, look,
Tony Pike's horses, that's just sort of come to really good form the last sort of couple of weeks. Deep Pursuit, race 5, I thought he was good value. You're getting an odd surge of $3.60.
For mine, I've got one who's also in it at Te Rapa, but Bonus Bond's been going really well, placed in each of the last 3. And I just thought in that second race looked to be a decent chance if it does go there. I see they have accepted at Te Rapa as well, but just I thought it looked better placed there.
I'm pretty keen on one at $7 in race number 4 in a Kushla for Chrissy Banbury. Chasetown Reconvene, fresh up this preparation. Reconvene's come out and won a couple in a row and really dominantly, and then went to Wanganui and was really good over Winter Rose. A Kushla still at the mile. Jim Chung takes a kilo off. Loving the $7 in race number 4.
Love it, and that does complete our look at the domestic racing, but we're now taking across the Tasman because it's Group 1 Winx Stakes Day, and we've got 2 quality mares clashing here with Autumn Glow at $1.90 pushing out from $1.80. She's at Alibi $2.90 pushing to $3.10. So that's interesting, Sweens, with this market, the top 2.
Yeah, I don't really know how to split these horses, apart from the fact that Autumn Glow's a superstar and so she's at Alibi. Whether there should be that sort of difference in the price, the 2 boys in the studio would know a little bit more than me.
Yeah, obviously Autumn Glow, $1.90, she could be backable. Barrier 3 is going to be probably a plus, but she's probably going to be just in front of She's Alibi. And look, the Sydney jockeys won't be giving Luke Nolan many favours, and look, from Barrier 1, it'll be interesting how they ride her as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, like, we know how good both of these horses are. Yeah. She's the Alibi. This is a performance. It's unbelievable quality.
Obviously, no one really expected them to be racing against each other so soon. So, look, there's going to be a massive crowd on course on Saturday to go and we'll look at these 2 great mares. And, look, the hardest thing is there's going to be a loser and there's going to be a winner. And, look, I've got Autumn Glow just on top.
Doesn't it set the stage for what's to come for the spring when we're going to see them up here? Maybe it's the first of a whole heap of clashes as well, but we'll go back and have a look at Autumn Glow, and obviously look at that record. He's won 11 of 12. He was terrific at the end of last preparation, and like He stamped himself as a superstar. Sorry, she did. So there's a couple of mares that are of immense quality.
Yeah, look, they're going to be talking about both these mares in that sort of champion sort of mode in time. Look, Chris has won this race 9 times, and look, the Winx Stakes, he'll have this horse spot on for this week, and I think Chris will be winning his 10th Winx Stakes.
Yeah, and I think James has already got 4 under his belt as well, so he'll be loving to add another one too.
That Doncaster Mile performance is one for the ages, isn't it, lads? Coming from there, she had to be out of this world to win, and then she's gone past them like they're standing still and gapped them. So that blew me away. Autumn Glow is also very exciting. I don't know how you split them going forward, but this is just like the first round of maybe a 3-round boxing match, isn't it?
Yeah, look, obviously it's going to be interesting. Either one that comes out and wins, like, do they get an Everest slot straight away, or look? I think Autumn Glow ran Winx at home track pretty much, so I've got her just on top.
Yeah, you're looking at bringing them back in distance rather than getting to the mile.
Why not?
Why not? It's exactly right.
Kaylin Rising obviously is a freak, but like, if he doesn't turn up, well, it opens a big door.
Yeah, it sure does. Jeez, when you look at the quality, top to tail here, Baywalk was an all-age stakes winner at his last day, and Chow Wolf and just non-stop quality here. In the end, I went to the bottom, went to She's Alibi, but not by much.
I can't wait either way. It's going to be a fantastic race. So from there, we're also going to take a look at the third on the program here, the Jersey Day Andrew Westmental Handicap, where you can see iPark at $6.50 out to $7. What do you think about this race, team?
Look, obviously, Mickey Brennan gets his first trip over to Sydney this week for a while, so he's going to be the good luck charm or the bad luck charm. But the way iPark raced it last time, Timmy Clark got on really well. He's got a few tricks, this horse, but his last couple of races, he's actually improved and he's running straight.
Doesn't it say something about the New Zealand trainers willing to chance their arm, go over there, roll the dice? That was the third up run in Sydney, won a benchmark 78. They actually had this horse entered for the Premier's Cup as well, but obviously gone with the softer option, and it might well be a winning one again.
Yeah, good on them, and best of luck, and I can't wait for that Group 1 Winx Stakes as well. From there, it is time to build your bank for a big weekend ahead. Leith, who's building yours?
Riccarton today, Pip. Race 4, Mr. Fortress. He was massive last start in the poly final down there. Gets in with the same weight, 54 kilos. Good gate. Jasmine goes down there to ride. He was $3.90, now into $2.25, but he should be winning race 4 today.
Race 2 at Te Rapa for mine. I really like what I saw from Requisite last time out in the race. It favoured those on speed. Requisite was getting home really well from a long way back. Ran the quickest closing section of the race and was really strongly backed into it as well. So in the second Requisite, it'd be a really sentimental win for Christine Stead too.
I'll take you the Bay race number 2 on the program, and Bonus Bond. I did struggle to find one this weekend, but it has placed at its last 3, second its last 2. Loves wet track conditions, getting 3 kilo claim down to the 53.5. But you have to be in quick. The 250 is disappearing as we speak.
Okay, so it's trickling in. Get on. Those are your bank builders for the week. We take you to another break off the other side. Don't go far. Our best bets and, of course, the track work tips.
Going to go race 7 at Caulfield Pit, Cosmic Crusader. He's $2.45. Look, he's going for 10 wins and should be this week.
Evaporated the 150, joined by Cosmic Crusader. Private Eye the inside. Cosmic Crusader just in front. Cosmic Crusader from Private Eye. Cosmic Crusader too good.
I'm going to head to Taupo, look to race 5 and 1 on debut. It's won 4 trials. Heavy track conditions might not be ideal, but here's a horse who's beaten the likes of That's Gold, King's English and company, and heads out on debut in a maiden 1000, so it looks hard to pass.
Off he goes, Kate Brianga, and he's going to extend beautifully over the last 100 metres. Super debut, Kate Brianga by 5 lengths.
it was a good week for the tipsters, particularly you, Leith and Aidan, and hopefully we can find you some more winners this weekend. But before we do, of course, we've got the big weekend ahead, the Group 2 Waikato stud Foxbridge Plate in there. He is first 5 for big weekend 2. The All Blacks playing will be very apt if he could take it out. Make sure you pick up your race form edition. From there, let's get you out to the track to see what we're getting tipped this week.
Well, I'll go Shambo Jack on Saturday at Te Rapa, maiden 3-year-old 1200. I think it's going to be a hot field, and whatever does win will be certainly worth following. But it'll be one of the good 3-year-old races, and I think something good will come out. But definitely follow him.
Sure is. She's a really quality 3-year-old filly having her first start at Te Rapa on Saturday. Obviously those fields are out today. We'd like to draw a barrier just to confirm that she starts. But if she does, she's a very talented filly going forward.
I have Sweet Talker in the maiden 1600 at Te Rapa, and she's been going good, and the step up should suit.
I've got a mare called Afterglow. She's going well. We run her over ground last start. She ran 4th. We felt she could have run better, so we're dropping back to 1600, which she does perform really well.
I really like a horse in the 65 1200, Sati. He showed a lot last year. Had a little hiccup towards the end when he got late scratch at the barrier at Matamata, but no, he's come back a lot stronger. He looks good.
Look, I'll take you to Te Rapa. I've got a horse called Amusement. Her last start was at Otaki. Her form leading into Otaki was really, really good, but she fell out the back of the TV at Otaki. She went terrible. Didn't like the long trip away, but we'll go again on Saturday, and I think a bit closer to home she might run a race.
Look, I'll go with Cremont.
I've got quite a nice little team in, 3 horses, they've all got a chance, but probably Testing's the best one.
I think Coco Bill should be hard to beat on Saturday.
Stud Honour in the Fillies and Mares 12 at Hara.
Rippenall Hara Sunday, rating 60-14. He should go a really good race. He worked well this morning, so hopefully he gets his day in the sun.
There you go. There are our trainers' tips for the weekend. Let's hope we've got a nice big fill up there, and you can find all of those, of course, on the socials as well. Time for our best bets now. Leith, no pressure, back to back. Who have you got?
Look, I'm going to go Deep Pursuit, Hawke's Bay. Look, he's boosted out to $3.60. He meets a pretty sort of softer sort of race. I thought his 4th was Fresh Up was really good. Lily Sullivan's got a good record with the Pike stable, and from Barrier 4 should be winning race 4 at Hawke's Bay. Race 5, sorry, at Hawke's Bay.
Okay, I reckon I've made an ally on the show today, and that's King Kelso. We're going up against him in the past, but this time we're with him, and he went with Sati as his best of the weekend, so I'm going the same way. A horse who I've got a real opinion of, looks well placed off the back of a really encouraging trial.
Sure, Ken's rapped about that. I'll take you to Hawara and race number 4 on the program, and Breaker Bay. This is a superb performance on debut. Ran some really good sectionals, gets in the right race. Race 4, Hawara, prices aren't out yet, but I think it'll go very, very close, race 4.
And I'm taking you to the first out of Hawke's Bay, debutant Pearling Crown for the Wellwood James stable. Thought she was really impressive here in this trial. Got out nicely to the front. It's not an overly strong field, so I think she can take out the win. And those are our best bets for the week. Can't wait for this weekend. First Group 2 back domestically. Fantastic race. Real match up in the Group 1 Winx Stakes team. All to look forward to.
Yeah, good racing this week, and yeah, we'll see if Alabama Lass is going to be fragile or not.
Yeah, there's Redback Bob as well for the whale at Winton. But I've got to say, that Foxbridge Plate, it's a race that starts getting us really excited for springtime. And this is a really good quality group to wait for age contests.
Yeah, it certainly is. Thank you, team. Thank you, Sweens. We look forward to Hawke's Bay. We'll catch you back next week.